It's a chilling realization when someone close to you, whose words paint a picture of warmth and friendship, triggers a deep instinctive sense that something is fundamentally amiss. Have you ever experienced that subtle prickle of unease, that nagging intuition hinting at a darker current beneath a seemingly pleasant exterior? The renowned psychologist Carl Jung, a profound explorer of the human psyche, illuminated a crucial concept known as the shadow, that often denied hidden aspect of ourselves that can subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, manifest in our interactions with others. While we might strive to conceal feelings like envy, resentment, or outright hate, they rarely vanish completely, leaving behind faint but telling traces. Today, we will delve into 8 unmistakable indicators that can reveal if someone you know harbors hidden animosity, even if they are masters at deception. Proceed with caution, as the final sign in particular is exceptionally insidious and has the power to fundamentally alter your perception of certain individuals. Before we embark on this exploration, ensure you're subscribed to Mental Dose and our Telegram channel to catch future insights on personal and spiritual growth. This journey into understanding the subtle manifestations of concealed negativity is not about fostering paranoia, but about cultivating a sharper awareness of interpersonal dynamics, enabling you to navigate relationships with greater discernment and safeguard your emotional well-being. It's a delicate balance between maintaining an open heart and developing a discerning eye, recognizing that not all smiles are genuine and not all pleasantries are born of sincere affection. Jung's work consistently underscored the importance of acknowledging the darker aspects of the human psyche, both within ourselves and in our observations of the world around us. He understood that by ignoring these shadow elements, we often grant them more power, allowing them to operate unseen and unchecked. This article aims to bring some of these shadow dynamics into the light, offering a framework for identifying potentially harmful undercurrents in relationships that might otherwise appear benign on the surface. By understanding these 8 indicators, we empower ourselves to make more informed decisions about who we invest our emotional energy in and how we interpret the actions of those within our social sphere. It is an exercise in self-preservation, grounded in a deeper understanding of human psychology and the complex interplay of conscious intent and unconscious drives that shape our interactions. The goal is not to alienate ourselves from others, but to foster healthier, more authentic connections by recognizing and addressing the subtle signs of disingenuousness when they arise, thereby strengthening our own resilience and capacity for genuine connection. Contempt masked as wit. Hidden hostility doesn't always announce itself with a shout. Often it prefers the whisper of sarcasm or the sting of biting irony. Individuals who harbor such feelings might cloak their disdain in jokes, clever retorts, or a barbed wit, particularly when addressing subjects they know are sensitive to you. When you attempt to address this, they'll often deflect with dismissive phrases like, "I was just joking," "Don't be so sensitive," or "You just don't get it." This tactic is particularly insidious because it leaves you feeling unsettled and invalidated, while the other person maintains the guise of playful banter, free from any malice. In reality, consistent and pointed irony directed at specific aspects of your life is a potent indicator of underlying contempt. If their jokes consistently leave you feeling diminished or humiliated, and if these jabs repeatedly target the same vulnerabilities, it's far more than mere humor. It's likely a manifestation of repressed hostility. Jung proposed that our personal shadows are, at times, involuntarily projected onto others, and when someone repeatedly employs irony to target certain traits in your personality, they are inadvertently revealing aspects of themselves they are unable or unwilling to accept. This subtle form of aggression exploits the inherent social desire to maintain pleasantries and avoid conflict, making it difficult to call out without appearing overly reactive or lacking a sense of humor. The ambiguity of sarcasm allows the perpetrator plausible deniability, pushing the boundary of acceptability just enough to cause discomfort without crossing a line that would demand overt confrontation. The cumulative effect of these jokes can be a slow erosion of self-esteem, making the target question their own perceptions and reactions. The constant need to decipher the true intent behind seemingly innocuous remarks creates a state of perpetual anxiety. It's like walking through a minefield of veiled insults where a misstep could lead to further emotional injury. The person employing this tactic often derives a sense of power from your discomfort, as it confirms their perceived superiority and control over the dynamic. They might be the individuals who laugh the loudest at their own jokes, especially when those jokes are at your expense, enjoying the subtle discomfort they create without overtly acknowledging it. This isn't about a light-hearted jab, it's about a pattern of communication designed to undermine and demean, disguised as mirth. The more you react, the more ammunition they feel they have, leading to a cyclical reinforcement of the behavior. The key here is pattern recognition. A single sarcastic remark can be a misstep, but a consistent stream of them, always directed at your perceived weaknesses or insecurities, signals a deeper, more deliberate intent. It is a form of psychological warfare waged with words, a testament to the fact that the most damaging wounds are often the ones inflicted silently and with a smile. The victim is trapped in a paradox. To acknowledge the insult is to admit vulnerability, but to ignore it is to allow the erosion of their own sense of worth. This type of communication is not about building rapport, it is about asserting dominance through insinuation and veiled contempt, leaving the recipient feeling perpetually on edge, second-guessing their own worth and their perception of reality. The chilling aspect is how readily others might dismiss your concerns, urging you to simply let it go or not take it so seriously, thereby inadvertently validating the aggressor's strategy and further isolating the victim. It's a sophisticated form of bullying that preys on our innate desire for social harmony, turning the very tools of connection, humor, and wit into instruments of subtle destruction, reflecting an internal struggle within the perpetrator that they are unable to resolve consciously, thus projecting it outward onto those around them. The subtle art of sabotage. When individuals feel threatened by your progress or success, they might resort to covert methods of sabotage. This isn't always overt aggression. More often it appears as misleading advice, careless miscommunications, or minor mishaps that, when strung together, effectively impede your forward momentum. A friend or family member who conveniently forgets to relay crucial information, omits vital details, or inadvertently complicates your endeavors might not be as forgetful as they seem. If these occurrences are frequent and consistently arise at pivotal moments, it's worth questioning whether they are truly random. Observing the pattern of these behaviors can help discern an unconscious desire to undermine you. Jung suggested that those who struggle to confront their own shortcomings might unconsciously project their frustrations onto others, hindering them as a way to avoid confronting their own feelings of inadequacy. This subtle form of obstruction can be incredibly damaging because it's difficult to pinpoint and address directly. It creates a sense of constant frustration and inefficiency, leaving you wondering why things are always so much harder for you than they seem to be for others. The perpetrator can maintain an appearance of helpfulness or simple clumsiness, making it challenging to confront them without appearing accusatory or ungrateful. Imagine a project where a key piece of information is accidentally left out of an email or a deadline is mistakenly miscommunicated. These aren't catastrophic errors, but a series of small inconveniences that, over time, can significantly derail your efforts. The individual responsible can offer apologies and explanations that seem plausible on the surface, yet the consistent nature of these mistakes points to a deeper, more intentional pattern. They might offer advice that, while seemingly helpful, leads you down an unproductive path, or they might volunteer to help with tasks but then subtly mismanage them, creating more work or delays. This type of sabotage thrives in environments where direct communication is avoided or where individuals are hesitant to question the motives of those close to them. The psychological impact on the target can be profound, leading to a sense of helplessness, self-doubt, and a feeling of being perpetually stuck. It can erode confidence and make one question their own competence, especially if the saboteur is skilled at framing these incidents as unfortunate accidents rather than deliberate acts. The underlying motivation often stems from a place of insecurity and envy. When someone cannot achieve success on their own, they may seek to pull others down to their perceived level. This is a defensive mechanism, a way to alleviate their own feelings of inferiority by diminishing the achievements of those they see as more fortunate or capable. The key to identifying this behavior is not to focus on isolated incidents, but to look for a recurring pattern of minor setbacks that disproportionately affect your progress. It's about noticing that these accidents seem to happen at particularly inconvenient times, often when you are on the verge of a breakthrough or a significant achievement. Jung's concept of the shadow is particularly relevant here. The individual may not even be consciously aware of their sabotage, but their unconscious desire to hinder your progress manifests through these seemingly accidental actions. They might feel a sense of satisfaction from your struggles, a perverse fulfillment that comes from seeing someone else falter, even if they would never admit it to themselves or others. This is a subtle but potent form of aggression that can have long-lasting repercussions on one's career, personal goals, and overall sense of well-being, leaving the victim constantly fighting against invisible obstacles, their efforts undermined by the quiet machinations of someone they may even consider a friend. The insidious nature of this sabotage lies in its deniability and its ability to create a constant undercurrent of stress and frustration, making the target question their own judgment and ability to navigate even seemingly straightforward tasks, all while the perpetrator maintains an outward appearance of helpfulness or even sympathy. The subtle sabotage a testament to their internal conflict and their inability to celebrate genuine success in others, a silent battle waged with omissions and miscommunications. The silent tournament of one-upmanship. Some individuals find it impossible to witness your triumphs without feeling an overwhelming compulsion to outshine you. Every victory you achieve is met with an attempt to redirect the spotlight, minimize your accomplishment, or pivot the conversation to their own perceived successes. If you share positive news, instead of offering genuine congratulations, they'll swiftly recount their own similar or even superior achievements. This unspoken competition often stems from profound insecurities. Those who engage in it struggle to tolerate your brilliance because it directly challenges their own sense of self-worth. When conversations with such a person consistently devolve into a contest, it's highly probable that unexpressed resentment simmers beneath the surface. Jung's concept of shadow projection explains how individuals may see in others the very qualities they are unable to cultivate within themselves. Consequently, those who feel inherently inferior may attempt to diminish you or compete fiercely to avoid confronting their own feelings of inadequacy. This behavior is particularly disheartening because it turns moments of personal joy into opportunities for subtle validation seeking by another. Instead of shared happiness, you are met with a quiet battle for recognition. Your promotion becomes an excuse for them to talk about their own career advancement. Your exciting vacation is met with a story about a more exotic destination they visited. Or your minor success is immediately overshadowed by a tale of their monumental achievement. The conversation never remains focused on you. It always finds a way to loop back to them, often in a way that implicitly or explicitly positions them as having done better, experienced more, or overcome greater obstacles. This is not about a healthy exchange of experiences. It is about a constant need to be perceived as the best, the most accomplished, or the most experienced. The underlying insecurity is palpable. They cannot genuinely celebrate your wins because your success serves as a stark reminder of their own perceived failures or shortcomings. Their inability to bask in your reflected glory speaks volumes about their own internal landscape, one that is likely fraught with comparison and self-doubt. This competitive spirit, when directed at you, is a clear indicator that they do not see you as an equal, but as a rival. Jung's idea of projection is crucial here. They are projecting their own unmet desires and insecurities onto you, seeing in your achievements what they wish they had for themselves and reacting with a defensive need to assert their own perceived value. The result is a draining conversational dynamic where genuine connection is impossible, replaced by a continuous low-level competition for the spotlight. Even when they offer seemingly congratulatory words, there's often a qualifier, a yes but, that subtly diminishes your achievement and elevates their own past experiences. For instance, you might share that you ran a marathon, and they might respond with, "Oh, that's great. I ran a marathon last year and finished in half the time, but I know it's a big accomplishment for you." The implied comparison is clear, and the intended effect is to make your accomplishment seem less significant in the grand scheme of their own, more impressive feats. This constant need to one-up you is a red flag, a sign that their relationship with you is not built on mutual respect and support, but on a foundation of competitive insecurity and an unfulfilled need for validation, leaving you feeling drained and uncelebrated in your own moments of joy. The ultimate paradox is that their relentless pursuit of superiority often highlights their own deep-seated feelings of inferiority, a silent testament to the unresolved shadows they carry within themselves, manifesting in an endless, unwinnable tournament played out in everyday conversations, where every victory you share is met with their subtle, yet persistent, attempt to reclaim the championship of life. The hollow echo of superficial support. Those who harbor secret animosity might conceal it behind a veneer of superficial, yet ultimately unproductive support. When you genuinely need assistance, they tend to downplay the severity of your challenges or offer a litany of excuses for their unavailability. Conversely, when you achieve something noteworthy, their enthusiasm appears forced, if it registers at all. This pattern can be particularly glaring during significant life events. If you observe that someone close to you is consistently absent during crucial junctures or reacts with indifference to your successes, they may not possess genuinely positive feelings for you. The absence of authentic support isn't always immediately apparent, but becomes evident over time as you witness their reactions to your triumphs and tribulations. Jung described ego dissociation as a defense mechanism that can lead to emotional detachment from others, manifesting as a perceived coldness and an inability to offer genuine support. This form of support is often characterized by platitudes and vague offers of help that never materialize into concrete action. They might say, "Let me know if you need anything," but when you do, their responses are evasive, filled with justifications for why they can't be there or can't help. They might offer sympathy for your struggles, but fail to provide any tangible assistance, leaving you feeling alone in your challenges. During your moments of triumph, their congratulations are often lukewarm, delivered with a lack of genuine warmth or enthusiasm. They might offer a perfunctory "that's nice," or quickly change the subject as if your success is an inconvenience. This is a stark contrast to how truly supportive friends would react, with genuine excitement, shared joy, and a desire to celebrate your achievements. The hollowness of their support is not always about active sabotage, it's about the absence of genuine care and investment. They are present in a superficial way, maintaining the appearance of friendship without the substance. This can be more insidious than outright hostility because it leaves you questioning your own perceptions and feeling like you are asking too much when you seek genuine connection or assistance. It creates a sense of unease, a feeling that the relationship is not as strong or as supportive as it appears on the surface. Jung's concept of ego dissociation helps explain this phenomenon. When an individual struggles with their own emotional integration, they may appear detached or unable to connect with the emotions of others. This detachment can manifest as a lack of empathy and an inability to offer genuine support, even if they consciously wish to appear caring. Their outward actions might be performative, designed to maintain a social facade rather than reflect genuine emotional engagement. The consistent pattern of superficial engagement, particularly during times of need or celebration, is the key indicator. It's not about one missed event or one less than enthusiastic reaction. It's about a pervasive trend that reveals the true depth of their investment in your well-being. This lack of authentic support can be deeply damaging as it leaves you feeling unsupported and unvalued, perpetuating a cycle of disappointment and self-doubt. It is a reminder that not all relationships are built on mutual affection and genuine care, and that sometimes the most painful betrayals are those of omission, where the absence of support speaks louder than any overt act of aggression, leaving you to question the very foundation of your connections and the sincerity of the gestures of friendship you receive. A constant echo of what support should be, but never truly is from them. The guise of caring control. There are individuals who seek to exert dominion over your life, cloaked in the pretense of acting in your best interest. They dictate your actions, critique your every decision, and sow seeds of doubt regarding your capacity for independent judgment. Their underlying motive isn't to uplift you, but to foster a sense of dependency. This form of control can be difficult to recognize because it's often presented as loving counsel or genuine concern. A crucial indicator lies in how these interactions make you feel. If each piece of advice leaves you feeling more insecure rather than empowered, you may be encountering a form of manipulation. Jung posited that the compulsion to control others often originates from a profound fear of internal chaos. Individuals who are unable to navigate their own uncertainties may seek to govern the lives of others as a means of avoiding their own emotional instability. This is a subtle but potent form of manipulation that can erode your autonomy and self-confidence over time. The controlling individual may present themselves as wiser, more experienced, or more concerned about your well-being than you are yourself. They might offer unsolicited advice constantly, framing it as essential guidance that you simply cannot do without. They will often criticize your choices, pointing out every potential pitfall and highlighting your perceived flaws. This is not constructive feedback aimed at helping you grow. It is a strategy designed to make you doubt your own judgment and become increasingly reliant on their direction. The language they use is often laced with concerns such as, "I'm just worried about you," or "I know what's best," or "you don't really understand the risks involved." These phrases are designed to instill fear and uncertainty, making you more amenable to their suggestions. The insidious nature of this control lies in its appeal to our need for security and validation. By making you dependent, they gain a sense of power and stability that they may be lacking within themselves. Jung's perspective on the compulsion to control offers insight into this behavior. Individuals who are overwhelmed by their own internal disarray may project this chaos outward, attempting to manage the lives of others as a way to impose order on their own tumultuous inner world. This can be a subconscious effort to avoid confronting their own anxieties and insecurities. The impact of this controlling behavior on the recipient is significant. It can lead to a gradual loss of self-esteem, a diminished sense of agency, and a persistent feeling of inadequacy. You might find yourself second-guessing even the simplest decisions, always anticipating their disapproval or critique. The relationship becomes one where your thoughts and actions are constantly scrutinized, and your independence is subtly but persistently undermined. The true intent is not to nurture your growth, but to keep you tethered, a reflection of their own unresolved internal conflicts and their desperate attempt to maintain a sense of control in a world that feels inherently unpredictable, making every interaction a veiled attempt to manage your life, all under the guise of profound and unwavering affection, a dangerous dance of perceived care that ultimately seeks to subjugate rather than to support. The whispers of gossip and criticism. Individuals harboring negative sentiments towards you are unlikely to confront you directly. Instead, they often resort to circulating criticism and distorted information about you among their acquaintances. This behavior is particularly insidious as it impacts you indirectly, often without your awareness, until you begin to feel the repercussions. If you notice shifts in the demeanor of those around you without a discernible reason, or if friends and colleagues begin to distance themselves or act more reserved, it's possible that someone is actively spreading negative narratives about you, false or exaggerated. Rumors serve as potent weapons for those who harbor grudges, as they systematically erode your reputation and gradually isolate you within your social circle. Carl Jung explained that the propensity to discredit others frequently represents an unconscious attempt to project one's own insecurities and vulnerabilities. Those who feel inferior or discontented may seek to compensate for their feelings of inadequacy by casting others in a negative light. In essence, individuals who speak ill of you are likely revealing more about their own internal state than about you. This form of passive-aggressive behavior is designed to inflict damage from a safe distance, allowing the perpetrator to avoid direct confrontation while still achieving their objective of undermining you. The gossip may be couched in terms of concern or just sharing what I heard, but the intent is to plant seeds of doubt and negativity about your character or actions. They might twist your words, exaggerate your mistakes, or invent falsehoods, all with the goal of damaging your reputation and alienating you from your support network. The indirect nature of this attack makes it incredibly difficult to combat. You might not even be aware that you are the subject of these whispers until you start to notice a change in how people treat you. Friends might become distant, colleagues might become wary, and opportunities may begin to slip away, all without a clear explanation. This can lead to immense confusion and self-doubt as you try to understand why people are reacting to you differently. Jung's perspective on projection is highly relevant here. When individuals feel inadequate or dissatisfied with their own lives, they often project these negative feelings onto others. By criticizing or defaming someone else, they can temporarily alleviate their own sense of inferiority, creating a false sense of superiority by comparison. They are, in essence, projecting their own perceived flaws and shortcomings onto you, painting you with the brush of their own internal darkness. The damage inflicted by gossip and rumor-mongering can be profound and long-lasting. It can ruin reputations, destroy relationships, and create an environment of distrust and suspicion. Those who engage in this behavior are often driven by envy, resentment, or a deep-seated need for attention, and they are willing to inflict harm on others to satisfy these needs. Recognizing this pattern requires paying attention to the subtle shifts in how people interact with you and being aware of who might have a motive to speak ill of you. It's a painful realization that someone you know and perhaps even trust might be actively working to tarnish your image, a testament to the complex and often hidden motivations that drive human behavior, where words become weapons wielded with calculated precision to dismantle one's social standing and emotional security, a silent war fought in hushed tones and whispered accusations, revealing the perpetrator's own fractured psyche more than any flaw in the target, the absence of joy in your victories. Those who genuinely care for you celebrate your milestones and offer steadfast support during challenging periods, finding genuine happiness in your successes. Conversely, individuals who harbor resentment struggle to mask their discomfort when you achieve something positive. You can often recognize this through their subdued reactions, abrupt changes of subject, or attempts to diminish your accomplishments. If you share good news and receive a lukewarm "that's great" or an immediate redirection to their own experiences, it suggests they may be experiencing envy or a poorly managed sense of competition. Jung articulated that the inability to genuinely rejoice in the successes of others often indicates an unresolved internal conflict, where the achievements of others serve as a stark reminder of one's own perceived shortcomings. This occurs because witnessing you attain what they desire highlights what they themselves have been unable to achieve. Individuals experiencing these emotions often attempt to minimize your accomplishments with phrases like, "It's not that big of a deal, I did something similar ages ago," or "You could have done better." These pronouncements are more than mere opinions. They are telltale signs of latent dissatisfaction. If you observe someone around you struggling to celebrate your victories and displaying irritation rather than happiness, it's highly probable that their inner feelings diverge significantly from their outward presentation. This is a particularly painful indicator because it involves the absence of a positive response rather than the presence of an overtly negative one. When you share good news, you are often met with a lack of enthusiasm that feels palpable. Their congratulations might sound forced, or they might offer a perfunctory smile that doesn't quite reach their eyes. More often, They will swiftly pivot the conversation, finding a way to bring it back to themselves, their own experiences, or their own problems, effectively hijacking your moment of joy. This isn't about them being distracted. It's about their inability to tolerate your happiness because it highlights their own perceived lack of it. Your success serves as a painful mirror, reflecting what they believe they are missing in their own lives. Jung's concept of unresolved internal conflict is key here. Their inability to celebrate your achievements stems from their own feelings of inadequacy and their own unfulfilled aspirations. Your success is not a shared joy but a source of discomfort and a reminder of their own perceived failures. They might also try to subtly sabotage your joy by pointing out potential downsides or future challenges associated with your success, a way to temper your happiness and bring you down to their level of apprehension or discontent. Phrases like, "enjoy it while it lasts," or "don't get too comfortable, things can change quickly," are often uttered with a tone that suggests they are trying to protect you, but the underlying sentiment is a desire to dampen your spirits. The most telling sign is the emotional disconnect. While you might feel elation, pride, or relief, their emotional response is likely to be muted or even tinged with a subtle negativity like irritation or jealousy. It's a stark contrast to the genuine warmth and shared happiness that true friends would exhibit. This lack of shared joy is a quiet but powerful indicator of a deeper, unresolved issue within the other person, a testament to their own internal struggles that prevent them from experiencing authentic happiness for others, revealing a profound lack of emotional maturity and a deep-seated envy that casts a shadow over every positive development in your life, leaving you to wonder why your moments of triumph are met not with celebration, but with a palpable discomfort that speaks volumes about their own inner world. A world where your happiness is a source of their discontent, a silent testament to their own unfulfilled desires. The unseen language of nonverbal cues, hidden animosity often reveals itself through the subtlest of details, manifesting not in spoken words, but in involuntary attitudes and signals. A fleeting glance at an inopportune moment, a forced smile that doesn't reach the eyes, a sudden shift in facial expression, or an unnerving silence can communicate far more than 1,000 words. While many individuals attempt to mask their true emotions, the body invariably betrays deeper feelings. If someone feigns appreciation but harbors hostility, you'll notice it in subtle gestures. Their hands might stiffen as you discuss a success, their tone of voice might subtly alter when offering a compliment, or they might avoid direct eye contact at critical junctures. Jung believed that the body and the unconscious mind are incapable of deception, even when individuals consciously try to conceal their feelings. This is because the conscious mind can construct a facade, but the body responds to genuine emotions. If you sense tension, discomfort, or an underlying coldness in someone's presence, trust your instincts. You may be picking up on a signal that your conscious mind struggles to rationalize. Recognizing these cues demands attentiveness and emotional sensitivity. While words can be intentionally misleading, body language and small overlooked details invariably reveal the unvarnished truth. This final indicator delves into the realm of the subconscious, where true feelings often manifest in ways that are difficult to consciously suppress. It requires a heightened level of awareness and intuition to pick up on these subtle signals, but once you become attuned to them, they can be incredibly revealing. Pay attention to how someone's body language changes when you discuss certain topics, particularly your successes or achievements. A tightening of the jaw, a stiffening of the shoulders, or a subtle flinch can all indicate discomfort or displeasure, even if their words suggest otherwise. Forced smiles are a classic example of a disconnect between outward appearance and inner feeling. The smile might be present, but if it doesn't involve the muscles around the eyes, the crow's feet, it's likely not a genuine expression of happiness. Likewise, a fleeting glance away at a crucial moment or a sudden shift in their gaze can suggest they are avoiding eye contact because they are harboring negative feelings or are uncomfortable with what you are saying. Jung's insight into the body's inability to deceive is paramount here. Our bodies are more honest than our minds, reacting involuntarily to emotional stimuli even when we consciously try to maintain a calm or positive exterior. This is why intuition often plays such a crucial role in our relationships. It's our subconscious mind processing these nonverbal cues and alerting us to potential inconsistencies. A persistent feeling of unease or discomfort around someone, even if you can't articulate why, is often a sign that your body is picking up on subtle signals of animosity. It's important to differentiate between nervousness and genuine dislike. However, if these cues are consistently present and seem linked to your personal narrative or achievements, it's a strong indicator that something more significant is at play. This requires cultivating a sensitivity to the unspoken, to the micro expressions and the subtle shifts in energy that can betray hidden emotions. By learning to trust your instincts and pay attention to these nonverbal cues, you can gain a deeper understanding of people's true feelings, even when their words attempt to mask them, allowing you to navigate interpersonal dynamics with greater clarity and self-protection, a silent language of emotion that, when understood, can reveal the most guarded of truths, a profound testament to the unvarnished honesty of our physical selves, in contrast to the often deceptive nature of our conscious minds.